Awusia Johnson Asiedu Nketia, National Chairman for NDC Amanyukuru no. And His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana. It seems say omo underground beef a man for chese that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ntem ene Johnson Asiedu Nketia ntem no egusua koso loki a enye asem ketua. Na ni nyina no 2028 obi a obedi NDC amanyuku n'anim to elections no anaso wa hwese obetimi secure elections ni biom de ama NDC amanyuku do na asat now there edin bebre na apiepie mu with regards to obi a obe lead NDC amanyuku no in 2028 Johnson Asiedu Nketia mu nyina din apiepie mu sanso na kese watofo asem mu Haruna Idris mu and Julius Debra Muninano at some point in time, Muninano din epiepie mu a currently there a wasem akofom kakra because His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and I say Johnson Asiedu Nketia more than December to abonti and no more chess a young time was a party go into a year campaign na amokoye campaign show be obedi NDC amanyukunu and imti sam radio sansem no akofom kakra for now. Now, diama just yesterday at the bay, sans and same way a man of home so say. A month will be chrimua. The idea said Johnson Asiedu Nketia about the next flag bearer of NDC Amanyukunu. A month will be chrimua, and yadia His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Jiho because according to them, no much him say. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ehuni say Johnson Asiedu Nketia enye presidential material onye obi a obetimi amache Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ewo Ghana ase onye obi obetimi awi ni power e free Johnson e free Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ensem enti His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na ankasa de ono no ewo nipa a osusu se 2028 obetimi ne Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia akọ boot for boot. No na akwa spake this whole argument. Amanfo bi chim say the fact say Johnson Asiedu Nketia a support His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for all these years. Enei every time I was saying John Dramani Mahama so support Johnson Asiedu Nketia na enei there or catch any say on your presidential material. Na same way Asha Asiebusia ano aye din ye pantianko Nyenkwetie po adomo kire sebo a okan any explanations awodo a wode ba
obi hia John Dramani Mahama inshira lawyer po adom edin semebri atuja emebri nyenkwetie nsem kakra odi tuja na bi emra.
But the story doesn't end there. We have to begin the story now. Let me get back Johnson Asiedu Nketia and President Mahama. So this Nilante Vanderpoy situation, okay, it's a clear situation of a proxy war between President John Dramani Mahama and his party chairman. As you may all know, party chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia is lacing his boots, or perhaps the man is finished lacing his boots. He is in pole position to become the NDC's presidential candidate for the next election. It appears that prospect is not finding favor with John Dramani Mahama. It appears that John Dramani Mahama and his principal advisors are not particularly settled in on Johnson Asiedu Nketia becoming the leader of the party. They have their reasons. I'm not here to justify whether it's a good reason or it's a bad reason, but when a president who's been president twice in different situations and he decides that somebody should not be president, I guess we have to grant him some authority in that regard. We have not been presidents before, have not been president before. Yes, I support Muhammadu Bawumia, I supported Nana Akufo-Addo, but if you ask me to what are the ingredients that will make somebody a good president, I really can't tell. But John Mahama can tell. I believe Akufo-Addo can tell. I believe J.A. Kufuor can tell. They have been president before. So John Mahama's situation is that it appears that he doesn't feel very settled about his party chairman becoming the leader of the party. Now, this indication also has sort of annoyed Asiedu Nketia quite a bit, because if you know the history of the NDC, and I know it, Asiedu Nketia has stood for John Mahama in many respects. In 2012, I was there when the decisions were being taken about whether the NDC should go to a congress to elect their presidential candidate or not. Johnson was the general secretary, and he determined that there shall be no congress. The vice president has been sworn in as president. He will be the candidate of the NDC for the election. Asiedu Nketia was right. John Mahama went to the election and he won 2012 elections. Amidst controversy in the court, nevertheless, the court pronounced him the eventual satisfied winner of that election. Okay, so then comes 2018, when people are feeling that John Mahama has spent force and he's lost elections by the heaviest margin in the history of the Fourth Republic, blah blah blah, and people are thinking that John Mahama should be replaced as a candidate for the NDC. Up comes important NDC figures like Alban Sumano Kingsford Bagbin. He was running against John Mahama for the ticket. Joshua Alabi was running against John Mahama for the ticket. Augustus Guzitano was running against John Mahama for the ticket. I believe Sylvester Manson too was running against John Mahama for the ticket, weren't they? But it was Johnson Asiedu Nketia who once again stood firm as general secretary of the party that come what may, John Mahama is going to be the candidate for the election. Election 2020 came and John Mahama and the NDC significantly improved upon their performance in 2016, and it made a justifiable reason why John Mahama should become the candidate of the election for 2024, given that the MPP were now going to naturally change the candidate. Akufo-Addo's tenure was done, and of course Muhammadu Bawumia was going to come in as a vice president who was about to win the party's nomination, and he did win the party's nomination. A few hiccups here and there. Alan Martin decides to leave the party, and Kennedy Japan is calling for a showdown, etc., but Muhammadu Bawumia is elected nonetheless. All right, the election comes in, and just before the election though, the NDC go to Congress again. Chairman Ofosu Ampofu was being an NDC chairman for this period. For that period, there was Chairman Wayose, may God keep his soul for us. Very good man. I refer to Dr. Kwabeneje, a former member of the NPP. And why do I say that? He was an NPP member of Parliament in 1979. The party was called the Popular Front Party, PFP, and he was the member of Parliament for Biakuye constituency. Kwabeneje was elected to Parliament on Victor Usu's party. So Kwabeneje is a former NPP member, and he was a chairman of the NDC. Very good man, and he passed, unfortunately. So Chairman Ofosu Ampofu became chairman, but Johnson Asiedu Nketia decided to challenge Ofosu Ampofu for the chairmanship. It sounded a bit uncomfortable here and there, but everyone believes that Asiedu Nketia got the support of John Mahama, who was a towering figure in the NDC at the time, as indeed he is now. And so Asiedu Nketia emerged the chairman of the party. Then came 2024 elections, and the NDC pulled out the biggest victory in the history of the Fourth Republic, surpassing Akufo-Addo's victory in 2016. Okay, now Asiedu Nketia knows that John Mahama is doing one term, so Asiedu Nketia says, I'm ready to go into it. And then he's hearing and feeling and sensing and smelling that the decision is not finding favor with the boss. And if I was advising Asiedu Nketia, I would have said, let's stop right there. We need to cross this hurdle. Put everything aside. Pack everything. Hold everything on. Let's go and try and secure the boss's permission. Let's try and secure the boss's blessing. Without his blessing, this is going to be very difficult. I would have said that to Asiedu Nketia if I advising him. I advise him, but he often doesn't listen because he sees me as opposition. So please tell him that my advice can be good. He should listen. Anyway, that's a joke. All right. So this is the scenario at this time. This is the scenario, okay? Johnson Nketia and John Dramani Mahama. So then we come up here and remind Asiedu Nketia, but you're not going to be able to win anything if, first of all, you don't secure John Mahama's blessing. But forget about that. Some people can win without the president's blessing. Akufo-Addo won 2007 MPP Congress without Akufo's blessing. Justin Kodua became NPP General Secretary without the establishment's blessing. So you can still win without the blessing, but how are you going to do without the blessing? Okay, so we went ahead and had an opinion on Asiedu Nketia's need to be both party chairman and flag bearer. So our editorial essentially was based on the fact that the path to party chairman is very different from the path to presidential candidate, and it's going to be very difficult for Johnson Asiedu Nketia to navigate from being party chairman to swing over to the presidential candidate. I'd like to show you just 5 minutes of what we said then, because everything we said has like the chickens have come home to roost. This is what we said. It's just a 5 minutes clip. Have a look at it. If you want to ask me, the question is, what is the role of a party chairman when the party is in government? The role of a party chairman when a party is in government is a lobbyist role. You lobby. You lobby for yourself if you want. You lobby for people. You lobby for contractors because you have influence. In Fancy, I think they call it sympathy. You are an elder. You don't have real power, but you are an elder that people respect. So you walk into Jubilee House at 11 o'clock in the morning. Everybody will be saluting you. Oh, party chairman, party chairman. What are you looking for? I want to see the old man. You climb upstairs to the 4th floor. The old man secretary sees you. Oh, party chairman is here. You go to president. Oh, a party chairman is here to see you. President will say, let him come, of course. You go to see president. You are going to lobby. So you go and say, Mr. President, this contractor who really helped us, they are not paying him. Charlie, tell him who to pay him. You know, the guy, that rally we did in Tamale, he's the one who paid for everything. He's the one who brought the lights to the rally in Obuasi. Please, you know, sort him out. And then the president might say, okay, party chairman has spoken. You call Minister of Finance. Do you know this contractor X? Why are we not paying him? He says, oh, we'll pay next week. So look, party chairman has come to speak about it. So then you go to communication minister. I say, communication minister, our party officers don't have computers. Can you get us iMac, the latest iMac 2020? Get us about 70 or so. The communication minister can call a contractor who is doing business with the Ministry of Communication and beg him that, look, you are doing business with us, you're going to make a lot of money. Can you spend some of your profits to buy computers for my party people? Party chairman is on my neck. That's the role of a party chairman in government. That's how it is. So Asiedu Nketia is inexperienced. He has misunderstood the role of a party chairman in government. And so he thinks that he's still the party chairman in opposition, making decisions, towering above the flag bearer, deciding who comes to parliament and who doesn't leave parliament, making all of those changes. That time is gone. He's completely inexperienced. He doesn't understand it. And that's the problem he's having. And he's going to have a major problem if he doesn't recoil and become a lobbyist as a chairman of the party in government, because nobody's going to pander to you. You have less influence, you have less money, you have less power. Who's going to talk to you? That's the problem. Asiedu Nketia is inexperienced, very, very inexperienced in handling party chairman of a party in government. Now, the other thing that is disturbing for Asiedu Nketia is that in this 4th Republic, there's been only one candidate who has wanted to be presidential candidate, who has been on the opposite side of the Jubilee House or the castle and has won. Often, the castle wins who they want to become presidential candidate. That's been the story globally. Whoever they want to be the next candidate, he wins. If you go to the famous story of England in the 90s, when they pushed Margaret Thatcher out, Margaret Thatcher didn't want Michael Heseltine. Everybody wanted Heseltine. Margaret Thatcher wanted John Major. John Major became the prime minister. That's how it works. It's only Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo who in 2007 was able to fight off a very major uphill task from the castle against Kufuor and Alan Chemate, and he won. But if you look at the victory he won, it was short of a second round. But Akufo-Addo was that powerful. His mobilization skills were so strong, and Akufo-Addo had been a national organizer of the party. So that was a really different kettle of fish, and he had a lot of support. So he's the only one in the 4th Republic, and perhaps in long history, who has been able to achieve that. If the president doesn't want you to succeed him, half the time, 70%, 85% of the time, you will not succeed him. Asiedu Nketia must get that very clear. So if you want to be presidential candidate of a party, the first vote you have to win is the vote of the sitting president. If you can't get the vote of the sitting president, my brother, forget about it. You're not going anywhere. You can be the biggest of anything. You have to be an Akufo-Addo to be able to ignore the vote of the sitting president and still win. And it was that Akufo-Addo episode that now changed constitutions of political parties in Ghana, where more than 2,000 people are voting for the presidential candidate because they're trying to reduce the influence of presidents, but it hasn't been reduced. Akufo-Addo stood for Bawumia and he won it. The other thing we have to talk about is this before we get to the videos. When you look at their political trajectory, to be party chairman is a different path from being presidential candidate. Asiedu Nketia must get that very clear. So it's like a road, okay, or a train that is one way and then branches out into two ways. That's how the political journey is. You all start at the same place and then you branch out into executive government or you branch out into party. So you look at the likes of BJ Darocha from 1992. Darocha doesn't want to be presidential candidate. No way. He could have, if he wanted to contest in 1992 as a flag bearer to challenge Edu Boahin, Darocha would have been formidable. But he doesn't like that because we are all different. He doesn't want to be presidential candidate or president of the country. He wants to run the party, so he wants to be party chairman. Odoi Sykes, Peter Ala Ajete, all these people, A.A. Munufi, Alhaji Isifo Ali, Kwabena J, they don't want to be presidential candidate at all. They just don't want to be. So they go the path of the party. So if you go the path of the party, you cannot then come around and say that now you want to be presidential candidates. You can't do that. So look at MPP today. You see the likes of Samuel Uku and these guys. Samuel Uku started as a party. As Akufo-Addo was national organizer, but Samuel Uku started as a party. Samuel Uku has decided that he wants to cut another path. He wants executive government. So he does an executive position at MLA. He goes to parliament. If MPP comes to power, he wants to be a minister, and then he'll cut his path from there. He's not going back to be general secretary of the party. No, that is gone as far as he's concerned. Kujo, Nkrumah, and all these are friends. They don't want to be party executives. If Samuel Uku wants to be party executive, he can run for MPP general secretary and win. But that's not the path. He's gone onto the executive path. You decide where you want to go. It's going to be very, very difficult for Asiedu Nketia to navigate that. It's going to be very difficult for
MPP for say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia initiative for the buy good for purchase good for oil program no and Abua. I am also happy say Urasa Mejemfi recent admission in submission admitted say a policy be a the buy no and no and Abua about bedroom baby headry. From this angle, I want to read something from Gold Board website to you. Details of the gold purchase arrangement. You know. Total money spent, 16.1 billion, also was spent buying gold from January 2025 through to May 2026. But with the opportunity in the year. And background. Out of the total, 9.8 billion was deployed during 2025 alone.
What's the category saying?
$16.1 billion.
Okay.
Wow, go crack ubetimi a warm site. Volume source, meaning the quantity of gold